A neighborhood can determine whether or not the odds are stacked against our children. It truly does take a village to raise a child.
That's the focus of tonight's Stronger Houston report. If this is the first time you've heard about our new initiative, KPRC Channel 2 is committed to putting a spotlight on the inequality issues facing Houston communities.
And tonight, with the start of the school year quickly approaching, some families already facing hardship are navigating even more uncertainty because of the coronavirus.
Brandon Walker is live at Prairie View A&M tonight with a look at the team efforts across Southeast Texas to ensure the survival and success of our children. Brandon?
And Chris, you're right. We're talking about all children here. But this week on Prairie View's campus, there was a summit that targeted Black and Latino males specifically. It was done virtually, of course, although some of the speakers were here, the program organizers were here in their respective offices on campus. You can call it a joint effort between two departments on campus, the Texas Juvenile Crime Prevention Center and the Minority Achievement Creativity Center, coming together to not only talk about the issues they say have already plagued Black and Latino males, but also those issues they say that have been exacerbated by the coronavirus.
Somebody who's not going to let you fall, but if you fall, they pick you back up.
Charles Savage
Give you a safety net.
helps to provide the fibers needed for his students to learn how to weave that net.
I got childhood friends who they're not dead. They're in penitentiary.
Savage is executive director of the Urban Enrichment Institute in Houston's 5th Ward,
So why did I go this way and they went that way?
where the battle is being fought firsthand to make sure young men like Julio Bautista
I'm going to be a senior at Mickey Leland College Prep.
and John Bedman
I'm in the 8th grade and I attend Fleming Middle School.
live.
Bringing the community together and having a bond where we have something healthy to do.
I really like doing school, you know, math, science, reading, whatever. I like doing it.
These boys are not only fighting to stay focused on going to school, but still some of those social, economic pressures that come on families in this area, in this neighborhood.
The Urban Enrichment Institute got its start in 1984.
We saw a huge number of boys going into the juvenile justice system.
30-plus years later, Savage says much has changed, although many of the issues from years past have lingered.
We're talking about transportation. We're talking about family structure, support at home to help them get through some of these tough times.
Tough times, Savage says, have been pronounced even more by a pandemic.
We've seen a need for virtual learning.
COVID-19's role in influencing the path youth already deemed at risk will have to walk is the focus of new research and conversation underway at Prairie View A&M University. There, two professors
I'm Dr. Stella Smith.
I'm Dr. Susan Frazier-Kwasi.
are working to gather the data needed to answer new questions about a not-so-old challenge reaching Black and Latino males.
Starting as early as even kindergarten,
Yes.
up to grade 3, we start seeing differences in how African American and Latinx boys are performing in school, are treated in school, disciplinary actions.
Even how some teachers see those young men in the classroom. Those factors plus more, professors say, help shape how those young men see themselves.
Starts to paint a picture of this little boy is dangerous. This little boy is going to be a problem.
Prairie View this week hosted a summit on how to approach those matters and more, especially how poor access to education could lead to poor decisions down the line. A virtual workshop for community programs
This is what that book talks about, man.
like the Urban Institute.
Have a space for networking, have a space for all the stakeholders that are focused on these African American and Latinx male youth.
And talk together about what's needed to change that. Pathways for progress,
You know, we keep pushing forward.
Julio Bautista says matters. His success, John's, as well as hundreds of thousands more are dependent on that, and others who together make a stronger Houston.
I'm more of a hands-on person. That's why I can express myself better.
John likes to talk. He says he wants to be an attorney, and the program helped him. For instance, he had a lunch date with an attorney to get a better idea of what he'll need to do to make it to that level. Meantime, the summit itself is still working on collecting the data as to how the coronavirus has affected those particular issues involving criminal justice, also the education aspect. And so that's why they're creating this opportunity for the various groups around the area to come together and talk about some of the concerns they have, but also work together to build toward the resources they say they need to make real change. We are live tonight at Prairie View University's campus here in Prairie View. I'm Brandon Walker, KPRC Channel 2 News.